Hello, welcome, game, Counter-Strike 3. Into the knife round we go. I'm just starting these on the knife round. It gives me a little bit of time to check my setup and sort of just chill out, have one nice calm round, try and find the right volume. I'm going to try speaking a little bit quieter there. I move the mic a little bit further away, try and filter out some of the plosives. I don't know how well it'll work. I'm using a really shitty broken headset mic. But no, people aren't exactly going to watch this for audio quality and high-level stuff. And here we see a mad, impressive strat from the T side, the Wall of Get Shanked. Claims its first and second victims, and then is broken apart. We're going to see who is the better at shanking. You know, we're a bunch of British boys. We know a lot about knife crime. So it will be quite a competition. I think I didn't have autodirector on. I hate autodirector, but I don't want to observe and cast at the same time, because I can barely do one of those things. Trying to do both is not a recipe for success. And here we are, live into the first round. Now, I've sort of given context. I think everyone knows roughly who the highlight players are now. Last game it was Masher and Wazowski. I also suggest you watch out for George and Zesty, but really anyone can bring the heat on their day, on their map. So we'll see who is the king or queen of Mirage, but it's not Chris. The molly is deployed by Masher, gets some pretty solid damage. But it's a bit late to save her site partner's life. Then, Geo secures the site. CT's a little bit shut out. Gonna find it really hard to rotate in. There's some utility down. But Maddie has a bit of an angle, and I don't think anyone's watching it. No, they're not. And he gets Zesty for free. Might even find Geobreaker as well. Doesn't get the headshot, but taps him down all the same. Now it almost looks doable. It's a 3-on-3. Pre opens it up. George makes it. I ran out. I don't know what I was planning to say there, but either way, nice retake. Pretty clean frags coming out from all members. I was unconvinced on that retake. I will admit, I was unconvinced, but they proved me wrong. And I think I'm recording. I hope I'm recording. I really hope I'm recording, and I hope the sound balance is okay. It seemed to be okay on the last one, so I'll probably stick with this until I can be asked to check again, or somebody complains. Yeah, both sides have bought into this, which is not surprising. You tend to do that as a T side when you get the bomb down. But speaking, I was going to try and say Jeremy's health has gone down, much like the bomb, but Maddie's went down faster. That is an opening kill in to the A site as Jeremy follows up with the second one. Now they have a pretty good window. They don't have a smoke to try and shut out the scout. And a lot of them, one of them is low. Two of them are now dead. And yeah, okay, I'll warm into the game. Gotta get the brain flowing. Gotta get the cognitive juices doing something. Get that blood flow to the brain. Yes, that's the one. Geobreaker making, nice quick flick with the scout. As Chris evens things up once again, but comes off worse at the end of the trade. George cannot stand up to the Geobreaker, who brings it home with a third. Flashy round from him. Maybe he will be the standout player for this game. He's known for getting one highlight a game. Maybe this will be the time he breaks his curse. Maybe he'll go for 2 highlights a game. Who knows? But we've drawn up 1-1, and that puts the advantage in the hands of the T's, who don't have the completely ruined economy. Because they get everything on discount, you know? It's like T's go to Costco. And CT's got a Sainsbury's. Or Walmart. No, what's not Walmart? It's, begins with a W. Wellington. My brain is saying Wellington. That's definitely not. That's a form of shoe. Waitrose. That's the one. CT's shop at Waitrose, and T's go to Costco, and you can tell who's getting the better end of that deal. But George gets the better end of that 1v1, bringing down Wazowski with just a P250. And now they're going to push on. Maddie, an aggressive player, charging through the Molotov. His teammates not quite willing to follow him through the molly, and I think that has lost them their timing. Now it's just George trying to find any exits he can. It looks like he'll be hunted successfully. A little bit unfortunate. I feel like if his team had committed through that molly, they would have at least gotten that first kill, and then they had room to play the CTs. But unfortunately, a few people are willing to run through an entire molly just on the idea of maybe getting a trade frag. But sometimes you just gotta do it, you know. And once again, CTs have a weak buy. Do have a scout this time. We might see a little bit of play coming out from that. And there goes Geo chiming in with his first, well, another opening kill. And Maddie might be about to get caught off as Geo completely outmaneuvers him. Takes away his skull, adds a scout to his collection. It looks like this might indeed be his game to pop off, as the A side is firmly controlled by the T's, even with that missed jungle smoke. I am, I'll admit, running a little bit low on the hype and the enthusiasm right now, but this is the first time I've enjoyed this game in a long time. So I want to ride this train, much like the T's are going to ride this bomb plant into the next round, unless there are some truly incredible plays coming out. A little bit of an absolute kerfuffle in the whorehouse area, and yes, that's what it's called. Don't even at me. As Masha comes out on top, but is traded out, which Wazowski follows up with a double. Nice. Nothing hugely impressive. You know, kills against an eco aren't anything to write home about, unless you're particularly desperate, but mentally they can do you quite a bit of good. If you can just feed yourself some eco kills, that can set you up, that can build your confidence, get your aim in, because your aim is a function of your confidence. If you're not feeling your shots, you won't hit them. And let's see if George is feeling this as he contests Zesty in mid. Zesty decides to push through the smoke, but George has the read. We'll see which of the AWPers blinks first. Looks like it'll be George. Might not be ready for Zesty's odd positioning towards the center. As Masha slowly pushes the short position, doesn't appear that anything will come of it. And Chris is going to be tested. Geobreaker, quite far ahead of the rest of his team, has kind of given away the play here. A little bit overextended, but doesn't give away his life for it. So, but CTs were already able to get into position. It's an absolute massacre on the site, leaving only Geo, the man who gave away the whole strat by accident, alive to try and clutch it out, but it was too much. It was too much to ask. And that is an absolute meat grinder. You can't really afford to make those sort of misplays. They weren't sure. They heard a few footsteps on B, but they weren't sure until you see a T straight, you know, fly out almost all the way out to the site. Everyone on the map kind of knows at that point something's up. Now, if that was a fake, genius, but it wasn't. I'm afraid. Wasn't a fake, and I need to turn the auto director back on, as it looked like Geobreaker just dunked his own team with a nade. Zesty just hasn't been playing up to snuff, so he thought he'd give him a bit of a reminder of what he's expected to do, but it's just not a great idea. As Masha picks up the opening kill in the round, and I said it again, I need to stop saying picks up. As Pre shoots Jeremy, Geo comes out for the trade and actually manages to get down to the site despite being spammed, but's mollied out. The nade explodes to create a little bit more space, and the XM chimes in almost with another one, but the kills rain out from the stairs position. George finds the double and ends the round, drawing them evenly into a 3-3 game. Now, this is what I like to see. A bit of a back and forth between the teams. No one is hugely hanging behind on the kills, so we should really commend Geobreaker for his standout performance so far. 9 kills in 6 rounds. I'm hoping to see him make even more out of that. But talking about making something happen, George opens the game up with a mid pick. It's always dangerous when you have one of these strong, confident AWPers towards the mid. Mid is such an important area on this map. And granted, should we just pretend that one didn't happen? I think it's better for all of us if we pretend that one didn't happen. So Vid has bought an AK and made his way onto the site, and he's going to use the AK that he absolutely didn't get gifted to kill 2 players before he's finally traded out by Masher. It's a little unfortunate when you see that sort of thing happen, isn't it? A momentary lapse of concentration. And that momentary lapse has given them the bomb plant. It's brought people over to the wrong site. Shouldn't give them the round. With quite a nice shot from Free. And another one to close it down to the 2v1. 1v2? Yeah, whatever. But Zesty has the perfect position. He's got the perfect position to defend the bomb. It doesn't matter that he's got no HP. Doesn't matter that he has no HP with a position like that. If headshots are the only thing that can hit you, it really beautifully played. Pre almost trying to sort of grab at that bomb from long range. Really reach his arms out there. But you know what? Maybe that works if you have full HP. I think he just got caught by a single stray bullet. But with 7, I think it was better gamble to take the fight to the man. Huge misplay from Chris there. I can't really ignore it now, can I? He manages to be so AFK that a dude with a Glock runs and just kills him. Doesn't even try and pull out his gun, just dies to like 5 Glock bullets in the face. And his snipe partner didn't trade it, which is equally bad. Though I think they were sort of out of position there. You don't really expect that stuff. But what you also don't expect is the beautiful 1-dig from Pre, opening up this round and maybe giving the CTs a chance. But I think the Ts have an inkling now that something is up. George takes the peek on a mid, had a clean shot, but wasn't actually able to convert it. Getting that extra 1, which has now been found with Maddie and Chris both picking up kills, and I said it again, as Zesty chimes in with one of his own. Bring it to a 2-on-4, and we've just seen a pretty impressive clutch from Zesty, but can he and Vid do it again? They have the bomb, and he finds, ooh, the 90-degree flick spray to Cake down at 2. He should be dying here. He should absolutely be dying here, but he is single-handedly holding both CTs. This molly is going to delay them even further and give him the space to get away. Standout plays. Incredible scenes. Now, granted, this is just an eco from the CTs, but it looked so good. It looked so good just a moment ago, and a beautiful double kill. And they think he's still in snipers when he's already made the full rotation. Like, will they clear it? It doesn't look like they will. And he's got Matt. Masher does trade him out, but isn't ready for the AWP from short. Now, that was a much messier round. And, you know, you got to sort of commend the CTs with one hand and bitch slap them with the other there. Because that was a round that they had no right to, and that they took by a few really clean and beautiful shots and clever setups. They took all of the kills they needed, and then they handed it straight back. Which is, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. And here is another pistol round. I feel like they've almost had too many pistol rounds. And it is, you don't really, I mean, it's sort of rounds like the last one that make you do it, right? It's almost a trap. Because you keep buying pistols, eventually it adds up, you know? If you buy sort of pistol armor 3 or 4 times and a half, you missed a gun round. And then if you miss one gun round, you might have missed another gun round. And speaking of missing, they were doing a lot of that on Chris there as he actually taps down Wazowski. Doesn't get much more than that. And the CTs are very firmly locked out of the site. The low HP does open them up for a Kobe. But they don't need any more Kobe's, just a no-scope and a bit of a spray. Yeah, I'm very much running out of things to say, but thankfully they are making some interesting things happen. My analysis is quite weak at the moment, I won't deny. But that, I think, is partially because these setups and sort of the structure is quite weak. It's hard to talk about something that isn't quite there, but what we... And you see already that it feels like a bit of a mixed up identity from the T side. It looked like they wanted to make a really fast play. They all went that way, and then they started walking. Only one person took the peak, and yes, he finds the opening kill, but look, they've given up control. They're going back, and now they're going... So they're sort of going back, but they're not giving up enough. They've left the bomb there. They've moved 2 players away, and if you wanted to sort of hit one side and then swing to the other, you got to do it with more than that. You got to do it a little bit better, and Zesty chimes in with another. And he's moving all around the map, and now with 2 kills, it sort of looks okay, but it wasn't structured enough for my taste. What really wasn't structured enough, and if Masha gets the timing here, that could drop the bomb. Doesn't drop the bomb, does drop Zesty, perhaps an even more valuable target. As Maddie prevents the lurk from having the impact that they wanted to, and a fast adjustment from Chris prevents the close peek from Jeremy from securing this round, but maybe that nade will. Does a little bit more damage, and now they're very vulnerable to this AK of Geobreaker. Chris spam down through the wall, all on Maddie, who actually has just the right timing. Didn't quite have the trigger discipline to find both, but maybe he'll get them off pure skill. Brings out the USPS. It's a pretty big gamble. Geobreaker's just trying to buy time. He knows it's going to be hard, and there's no kit. And that'll be the round. Well played from Geo to know that buying time there was the right play. But again, it feels a bit rough from both sides. It feels a bit uninspired. The T-side play there, I mean, looked good for about 5 seconds, and then they all went off in different directions with different ideas of what they wanted to do in the round, and then sort of split up, and they won purely due to the virtue of having better aim and being in really weird spots, not because they had a vision for the round. And that's a little sad, I think. But another pistol round coming out from the CTs, and I really do think this is starting to damage them, to do a little bit more long-term damage than they're realising. Because every other round they're throwing away 700, 1,700. But if you can make kills like that one rain in, George, maybe it's worth it if he can bring this forward. But look at these rotations. Look at these rotations. The B-side anchor is refusing to play his position the way he needs to play it. He's rotating off on before there's a really hard commitment, and it's not fun being a B-side anchor, right? You either get rushed and absolutely wrecked, or you get nothing and everyone else actually has the fight and you're always too late or on a really hard retake, right? But we're seeing now the problem as Matty actually reins in with a few more deagle shots. Maybe just maybe he can make it work, but now it's on George. He does have an AK and a dream, but it's not enough, I'm afraid. You're going to need more than just a dream. You're going to need discipline, and you're going to need some sharp, crisp aim to actually bring this one back, and it's possible. Zesty popping off hard, 16-5 in 12 rounds, 11 rounds. But you can shut this down. You can shut down a single player on the T side if you're careful, if you're disciplined. You can give him the first kill every round. If just trade him out. You can't be letting him get a kill and run away. You can't be giving up areas of the map. Your B-side anchor can't just walk away because he gets a bit bored or he thinks something's happening on the other side of the map. And you can't be missing shots like that, George. Zesty claims another opening kill, and that one's not on him. That's on that's not a brutally hard up shot to hit. But what is hard is trying to hold A when you're completely blind, or against 3 people, as both A-site defenders are isolated and crushed. And Zesty's just ready. He's got this game on lock. He has all the reads he could ask for. He's inside the other team's head. He knows where they're going to rotate through before they're even there. He's ready. He's really feeling it. And they're going to need to pull something a bit special out of the bag to try and break this momentum. Free's doing alright. He's found he's halfway to an impressive retake. But still not easy. Still not easy. But if there was an opportunity there with the missed shot from Zesty, but the molly is a little too hot to handle. Now all I want to see out of this CT side is a bit of discipline. A little bit of discipline, bit of focus, or something creative. You know, yes, you're going pistols, and at this point maybe you have to. I think you play for 10-5 instead. But they want to play for 9-6, and it doesn't look optimistic. George falls in the opening moments of the round, and they clearly don't have any kind of clever play, as Masha trades dinks, but the AK wins that one. It's not easy. It's not easy. And for once, Chris hasn't abandoned his position as the B-side anchor. He's committed to it too much, and that shot's just yikes, man. That's rough. That's just rough. And you see what I mean about the pistols. They're not really opening up your chances to win the round. But they are kind of... I mean, how many pistol buys have we seen? We've seen probably 5 rounds this half of pistol buys. And that's a lot of deagles. That's probably... I can't do maths live, but about 3,500 each. That's basically a gun round. And that's just off deagles. That's ignoring the armor they might have purchased as well. If you get to that, you're going to get around 8,000. You're missing 2 gun rounds because you keep buying deagles and armor. I think it's careless. I think it's really careless. I don't think it's the way you want to play if you're looking to actually win the game. And yes, I'm going really hard on the analysis here instead of the play-by-play, because I feel like it. And that flash wasn't a flash; it was a decoy. But either way, it didn't go anywhere. Now, forward position from Masha opens the round up in the favour of the CTs for once. Maybe they will be able to convert this. Maddie has a good angle on the Geo, and he breaks him. Now Pre in mid, trying to contest the bench jump, but doesn't manage to, but does get away. Molly now spreading into the sandwich, cuts Masha down to only 18 HP, but gets out alive. Maintaining the 2-man advantage for the CTs, which even if you're on low health, that's very important. But we still have Zesty alive, and Jeremy almost finds the timing. Doesn't actually manage to connect the shot. We got some heavy hitters for the T side alive, and they converging on the A side. And if they can find, whoever finds the timing will win. That's another molly. Very clean, but so much damage coming out. It'll be so hard for Zesty to clutch this one, but he gets 2. Didn't see if that was a collateral, but now 1v2 with an AWP. Doesn't matter if he lands the shots. Giving away Chris's position, 26 HP. Let's stay on your camera. Looking for the bomb plant, trying to spam him down. Doesn't actually connect. Doesn't hit the first shot, but he still has a couple of opportunities. Finds Chris. Just the one-on-one, but he can't make it. Pre clutches up. Just when his team needs him most, he does deliver. But that was touch and go for a moment. And Zesty truly stepping up and standing out this game. And as we can see, that pistol buy has hurt the CTs. They won the round, but look at their economy. It's in shambles. They won't have the rifles they want. They won't have the utility they want. You know, we're seeing Masha's been forced up a P90 in order to get utility. Matt doesn't have any. He's gone with the rifle, and we're missing bits and pieces all over. And this is a major weakness for the T side to exploit. And it looks like they're just going to go straight for the smoke A execute. But doesn't look like the smokes will actually be affecting the A site hold whatsoever. Both are very aggressive in A main. They've actually pushed out, and auto director won't show me it, but they do find two. Can they get the bomb as well? There is an auto sniper, and it cruelly headshots Masher. So perhaps they will be able to establish a foothold back into this round, at least. As the T's look at that rotation from the CTs, it's quite hard. But the B site anchor has changed. The B site anchor has committed to this hold. Isn't willing to move away until they know for certain that they have committed to the A site on the T side, and they haven't. So this is important, because look at how much of the map has not been opened up by comparison to previous rounds just by this position here. They do not have the B site for free. They cannot walk here for free. And it's allowed George to do some absolutely bonkers shit, frankly, and just walk straight out and no-scope a bitch. But they have bomb now, and honestly, a lot of that is down to the B-side anchor just not moving. Missed shot there from Geo, allows Matt to win the duel, and he wins another one. Very nice shot there. On to Jeremy, ending the half 10-5, and I said this is what they should play for. They got it anyway, despite, I think, a lot of misbuys. But I think if they went for an extra gun round there, and they didn't go for all those pistol rounds, that could be 9-6. Maybe they could find the mojo a bit further, go for an 8-7 half. Either way, they've recovered. And now, they have the T side. Hopefully, they have a good feeling about this one. That's what I'm hoping. They have a read on it, and it looks like their read is to play A. We'll see if they go really fast. That they do. Out already. The only problem is your apps player isn't quite there. You haven't cleared the site. Can he find two? No. Geo's stuck with just one kill. Jeremy in jungle tapping away. Has one, has two. Can he get a third? No. George cleans him up, and they have the bomb planted into 2v3. Maddie stuck out in no man's land, has to frag out, and will to claim that CT position, allow him to get out of the easy crossfire. And George, having the fight, will just about barely win it. It's not clean, but he manages. And now it's all on the Wonder Machine. The man who has been popping off this whole game. Zesty in a 1v2. Trying to fight a 180 angle on the bomb, and he can't. Matt gets the running headshot. And that is what I want to see out of the T side. Momentum and discipline playing together. They weren't controlling the map on the CT side. They were just giving up half of it for free, making it really hard for anyone to make plays into that B side of the map. But you don't have to worry about that so much as the T side. You can give up sides of the map, group and play pack if you want. Because at the end of the day, you only need one site, and it's important to try and grab map control where you can. But there are options. It's not like a CT side where you absolutely have to try and, you have to have some sort of info on both sides at the very least, if not a presence. And speaking of both sides, they decide to switch it up, go for the B hit, and not doing bad. They set up a crossfire on the CT side with their pistols, and kill Maddie as he tries to entry. George, little careless there, pre-aiming the deep angle, wasn't expecting a close pistol, and hands over a rifle. It's passed to Wazowski as Jeremy is low HP. So low he can just be shot through the wall. And both coming out of market. Chris gets one but cannot control the spray onto the second. And now it's Geo in a 1v2, and I would like you to show me his perspective, Auto Director, but you won't. Geo trying to take that duel with Masher on short, but can't quite slip the bullets through the gap, whereas she can. And that starts to close the gap for the T side. And we saw a couple of them by pistols last round. They actually forced into that. You can see from the money here. And it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. As you can see, they only found one kill on the defense. It's quite a gamble, and it didn't pay off. And that forces them, again, into a round like this, where they have a mixed buy. And next round, they're not going to have the strongest buy either. The molly starting to really burn Geo. I think he was blind and burning. And George just comes out clean, gets the one through the smoke, and two beautiful taps. And that's the round over already. I mean, I don't know why you bought into this, honestly. 4 taps, he's on for the ace. Can he make it just as clean. Can you show me his perspective? He's in just the right spot. And he's brought down by the USPS right at the end. But Mash is there. Gets the headshot for him. A vicarious headshot. And look, see, as soon as they move away from the side that requires a little bit more cross-map coordination, and onto the T side where you can play a little bit looser, you can find your picks wherever you feel like. You're the one controlling the flow in a lot of these situations when you're not at the highest level. As the T side, you're the one controlling the engagement. You choose the CT side can never choose truly which site the fight happens at. As the T side, you can, and you can take all the time on the clock to do it, and you can give up map control. And if you give up map control, sometimes you can split the CTs up, and it's good for you. It's kind of the opposite of the problems with the CT half. It might be their ways of playing might actually work in their favour. And it doesn't look like Geobreaker's having a lot of luck this game. He's getting melted. Not by bullets, literally by flames. But Masher gets melted by bullets. Seen through the smoke. Even I didn't catch that one. But Wazowski, he's got keener eyes than I do. Speaking of keen eyes, Jeremy, Overwatch over the smoke. As the CTs are not going to give this one up for free. Already swarming over the site. T's trying to fight back. Maddie does. Finds one, but is traded out. Does a little bit of damage, which allows Pre to clean up the kill onto Vid. And George isn't quite in position. Can he get there before the bomb is defused? No, he can't. Just barely. A little bit of an unfortunate post-plant position to choose based on that bomb plant. It's not the greatest plant, really, if you don't have a Palace player. They might have. I didn't actually see a Palace player that round. It looked like none of them really went that way. But that's the coordination issues again sort of cropping up. People not having a clear idea as to where to go in the post plant based off where the bomb is planted. It's like you don't... And you sort of expect that naturally to come out of players that are this experienced, but it's not so far. It's been a little bit lackluster, but they've been playing for a while as the first gunfights ring out and they go 1-1. I'd still put this game, or this round at least, in the hands of the T side. Even though that they unfortunately didn't quite manage to hang on to that last one. They did all the damage. They got all 5 kills. And that's not quite a right round win, but it's not far off. Unfortunately, you can't spam that wall by the looks of it. It was dead on. And look at that. It's an open A site right now. Your only defender is going to be coming from the jungle position, which absolutely should get cleared here by Chris. And it is, and he was low. So it's quite easy. Hopefully he remembers he has the bomb and needs to plant it. But we have Geobreaker in an unfortunate position. It's not a position where you can really frag out unless they come to you, which they might. They seem to be partial to this area as a post plant. It looks like Chris will be giving the frag. He's definitely not expecting anything from behind him. And it's going to be is it going to be a knife? No, he's going to go with the shotgun. And Chris gets a final parting kill, and Geo gets a second. George is just a little bit too close, and now he has a rifle. And there was a glint of hope there for a second, but Pre had that angle on lock and takes him out. The T's are starting to gain ground, and the disastrous buying habits of CT sides this game. My God. Guys, just get a hold of your economy. Hold on. Be bored for one round. I know it's not the most entertaining thing in the world, right? It's not fun to play USPSs because it's almost a guaranteed loss. You're just waiting. Just waiting to die. But you've got to do it in service of the game. What you shouldn't do is stand in the middle of a Molotov. Once again, a pistol's come out of a CT buy. And everyone's thinking, yes, we have enough money for next round. But what about 2 rounds? What about 3 rounds time? This money adds up. It's quite fun that way. And Maddie on a tear. Seeing heads and popping them pretty quick, even through the walls. You just could see the top pixel there. All he needed. But Geo isn't one to be outdone in the headhunting. And takes a scalp for his own collection. And I would really like to not watch this guy. There we go. George wants in, doesn't take a scalp, will take the second one through the wall, in fact. But Gio is not going down without a fight. But he is going down. T's now just need one more round to actually catch up. And the CTs will have a solid buy. But it won't be perfect. It won't be perfect at all, especially if they want the AWP. And that's the thing. The AWP is a weird piece of money, right? It's sort of a gun and a half. But it feels like a lot more than that. And as you can see, that Gio bought the AWP and he's got nothing. Half their team have no utility. They're going to have to rely purely on gunfights, and that's not what you want to be doing. But can Zesty open this round up? If Pre is a little bit too careless, and he is, walk straight into the AWP in con. And that might put a bit of a damper on the take. But Maddie is in mid, and they don't know he's there, do they? Doesn't look like... Oh, Wazowski had the read. Wazowski had the read and shuts down the flank before it can even begin. Now, the T-side have their work cut out for them to try and entry onto the site. But they have been given it. They've been given the site despite everything. George taking the aggressive peek to try and even out the numbers. Something you've just got to do. Now you've got to win the gunfights. Jeremy wins the first one. 2v3. So far, the T-side have won more numbered disadvantages retakes than they have advantage ones. But it's Masha at 1v2. After finding Jeremy on the first, getting spammed down quite precisely. The Kobe, first one isn't enough, but the second one certainly is. Smart move to avoid taking the fight. You don't need to take a risk. That's one of the first smart moves I've seen out of a CT side this game. Really not been impressed by the decision making, but the shots are very much on point. And that's what we like to see, and I'm hoping I'm moving my headset around hasn't messed it up too much, you know? But we'll see. We'll see. And it is... It does look like the T-side wanna shake things up a little. And the CTs still don't have all the utility they need. They're still kind of struggling. Wazowski doesn't even have head armor. Which won't matter, because he's up against 5 AKs. But you don't really want to see your CTs scrimping and saving in this way. You want to see them do it. I don't think any of them should really be rocking head armor. Because they're kind of poor, right? and it's 350 that could go towards another round. Can you... Okay, I forgot to turn auto director back on. That's why we were on that. We didn't see Pre's miraculous double entry, which might already have confirmed the round. But I don't want to put the CTs out of this yet. There are some impressive players still alive, and anything is possible. But this time, the CTs seem to have their post plants on lock. They actually know where they want to play based on the bomb. They have somebody in apps. They basically have every angle covered. It's kind of hard not to when you have all 5 people alive, I suppose. But even then, I'd like to see another player in apps. One deep, one less deep. And we will hopefully see that gun get taken away. Wazowski's hunted down, but 2 make it out. 2 make it out, and conserving guns on the CT side is very important. I've been talking about economy all game. I'm not going to stop. You know, it's thanks to those guns that they might actually be able to fight this. They can drop 2. It's not going to be easy. It looks like they've made the decision to... I don't know. I don't know. This is a scuffed buy. This is a scuffed buy. My God. But it looks like eventually they've all managed to pick up weapons. But it's going to make... There is going to be a bit of a delay on the mid-take thanks to the confusion. Molly is a bit too deep to reach Wazowski. But Matt is on the case, has the spray transfer to open up with a double kill on the site. And already we're seeing the same strokes happen again and again. Can Jeremy outplay Matt here? No, has the reload. And so he just takes the aggressive duel. Triple kill on for the ace. Let's see if they are willing to give it to him. But it is 3v2. It's possible. If a couple of mistakes are made, and Chris might be about to make one. Has a nice position, but doesn't win the duel. and put himself in a position you couldn't trade frag. Zesty goes for the no scope, and the first one lands, but he doesn't actually. But George doesn't punish it. But Matt's positioning right here. Can they expect it? They do. They check down from Ticket. They check down from Ticket, and the 2v3 is won without even taking a casualty on the CT side. Once the, you know, careless. Careless. It's careless. It's foolish. You don't want to put yourself in a post plant that's that isolated and that aggressive. You can play isolated, but you have to make it so that you're playing off the bomb. You can't be taking first contact in an untradeable position when you know. I could harp on this sort of stuff all day. I feel like this game I'm looking for small mistakes and I'm seeing a lot of them. And I feel like it's costing both teams, but it's costing the T side more. Certainly, they certainly made more mistakes on the CT side than this current CT side did, and that wasn't a brilliantly formulated sentence. It looks like we'll be seeing a smoke execute. Looks like we'll be seeing a smoke execute. And let's see. Pre gets the first, but Zesty kills off the Palace player before he can make a lot happen, giving Geo space to try and mount a defense, but he doesn't even get close. Vid pushing through the stairs. Smoke might actually find a timing, and he does, but doesn't get the kill before Chris covers Pre. Now it's Zesty. Having a good position. Finds one, but is traded out immediately. But Masha, that's an unfortunate spot. Actually sees him, turns around with the knife. This is doable. This is absolutely doable. Why in chat? Why indeed? That was a little bit of misfortune. And both extremely low HP. Has a nade, and he's decided to go for the fight. I don't think there's much chance of stopping him here. He might even clean up both kills. No. He gets the round, but gets taken out. And, again, little unfortunate post-plant from Maddie. He kind of got locked into it. The low HP. He had the right idea, but didn't land the shot initially. So, he got brought down to such low HP. He got it was rough. He didn't want to peek out. Neither of them did. Again, I mean, carelessness is the name of the game. I've said it 1,000 times, and I feel like that's true. I mean, that wasn't careless in the same way from Masher as I've seen in previous rounds. It was just unlucky, right? And that smoke is going to be a little bit too deep to actually stop this CT aggression on the B side. But George is going to get caught out in mid with a nade by Zesty going for the unexpected aggressive push. But all four players are already out. And there's a fast dig onto Vid, but he doesn't die. Manages to get a kill on the fall away and not even get killed. And at this point, the rest of the CT side are already here to shut out the T side permanently. And once again, it's all on Masher, and it's just not enough. It feels like the T side are relying on individual play completely to actually win them games and win them rounds, and that isn't working out for them. They have some very solid players, but so do the other team, and they have somebody really popping off, and you need to play a little bit more structured and disciplined if you want to fight this sort of stuff. But this is the last ditch effort from the T's. And an A-rush isn't particularly imaginative, but I'm not convinced they were planning on that, given that the bomb was still in spawn that whole time. They've left a look, but look, CT's drawn away from the B site. Will they be able to play fast enough? Find an opening kill in mid. Can you please look at the actual action auto director? You're a massive pain as the T's jostle for mid control. This is going to be rough. This is your game life. This is the match on the line here. You've got a week bye. You've found the opening frag into the round, but now you've got a very split up T side. CT side, rather. If you can find the right moment, if you can find the right little bit to look through, you can make this work, but it doesn't look like they have. Maybe that death on Geo will bring them towards the wrong side of the map. An auto director absolutely hates me. It looked like they baited the CTs away, but the plays from the short from short have just shut them out completely. A careless game. 16-11.